Hey, welcome back. There is a viral video that is circulating around on the internet right now, and it involves a situation that happened in Chicago of all places. And well, if you've been following this channel, you already know that Chicago is literally a cesspool for some of the worst people in America. But aside from that, we get an up close visual on what is happening within the inner cities of Chicago with this particular viral video. And we're going to watch it here today. And I don't know how much of it I'm going to be able to show, because y'all know YouTube is really, they're really funny about how much you show as far as in the way of violence and attacks and things like that. And I don't really want to show it to exploit the situation. I want to show it so that I can give you all a better view and an up close personal view of what this young parent, this young lady went through with her kids as they were harassed and bullied by a squadron of thugs and little tyrants from her child's school. And I really want to show the video because I want to show y'all how bad it really was. All these news outlets that are reporting on this situation, they're not showing the full video in context because it's just that bad. It's very violent. It's very jaw-dropping, and it's disappointing, and it's concerning. So this story got picked up and it's going viral. This situation has blown up. There's news outlets reporting on it now. And of course, now that it's going viral, now the school is trying to make amends. But this isn't a first situation for this school. It's already situations like this of bullying and harassment have already been reported. And according to the parent and the mother that we're about to watch in this video, nothing has been done until now. Now that news coverage is on it, now that news media and outlets are covering it, all of a sudden the school wants to meet with the mom now. All of a sudden the school wants to try and have a meeting and get some justice and enact some type of consequences to these little fucking rodents. And I'm talking about these kids. But anyway, let's get to the video.
Come on, blood. Shamar looking at. Shamar. Come here. What you want, Shamar, foot? Shamar, foot. What you want, Shamar? Shamar looking at. Come on. Look at them ankles, blood. Shamar looking at. Junior. Bitch. Why did they come outside? Hey, foot, don't touch my brother, foot.
Why? Don't touch me.
Oh, hell no, those ankles ashy as fuck. Look at them bitches, Greg. Crackhead. Other bitches, Lauren. What's his ass? What's his ass? Oh my God,
Do y'all see this? Are y'all watching this? Are you all watching what the inner cities are like? What the communities are like? I can guarantee you that at least 3 out of this group of kids, 3 to 4 of these are the same ones whose parents is on SNAP benefits. I can guarantee it. I can guarantee you that at least 3 or 4 of these kids that are attacking in this particular video are fatherless households. I can guarantee it. I don't even have to have the stats right in front of me of each of these kids. Could you imagine seeing this horror? I looked at this from so many angles, but the very first one was I imagined what I would do to my children if I had saw them participating in something like this. That was the first thing that I did, was put myself there in the situation, and I imagined seeing this horror show on the news with my kid being a part of this. Do you know what I would do to my kids? There isn't a police department that would be able to hold me from what I would do to my children if I saw them participating in something like this. But it goes back to how these kids were raised, because my kids would never participate in something like this. Do you know why? Because we raised them the right way. Because we instilled within them values. Because we taught them what happens when you bully, when you try to become the bully on the block. There's consequences. They know that. But here's what happens when kids are left to run amok, unchecked. They get to just do whatever they want. You hear how they talking. While recording the video, you hear how they're talking. Not one of them cared not one of them cared to hide their face. They don't care about anything. I can guarantee you the parents are 1,000% to blame for how these kids grew up and how they're acting now. I think you should indict the parents as well as these little motherfuckers. I think you should indict the parents as well. Get the parents as well, lock them up too. Why is your kid running around after school, terrorizing the community, and you are none the wiser? Why have you not instilled within them values of any kind? You don't care. And if you don't care, then I won't care to put that little motherfucker on a t-shirt. I promise you. Every single one of these kids would have been on a bright t-shirt the very next day. And their parents would have been talking about how kind they were and how much they're going to be missed and how much they're loved. Put them on a t-shirt. Let God sort them out. Let God sort them out. That's exactly what I would have done. There's more.
We're not hitting them. The little kids hitting them, not the big kids. The big kids not touching them. I'm saying the little kids would smash them.
Right around here is where this video is really about to go off the rails. Because right around here is where they start snatching the mom. They ended up pulling her down to the ground along with attacking her son. I'm just going to show some still images. I'm not even going to play the video anymore. You can see her hugging her children close to the fence, trying to protect them, trying to fend off this little wild rabbit ass pack of fiends, of little monsters, of little devils. You can see there, they end up getting her on the ground. They're kicking, they're stumping, they're punching, they're doing everything they can to humiliate and physically abuse not only the mom, but the kid too. Bullied and harassed. Now, let's go to what the news has said about this.
All right, back to our top story now. A viral video on social media showing a mother and her children attacked by elementary students.
Winnie Dorch live at Orville Bright Public School. And Winnie, some tell you that this has been an ongoing problem.
Good morning. That's exactly right. The adults who showed up at the school today say while they are shocked, they're not surprised. Take a look behind me. They tell me they are demanding accountability, saying the students involved should be expelled. We want to warn you that we are going to show you some of that disturbing video, and you may understand why so many people are upset.
This is how we show up. Justice, peace.
Chicago police escorted 33-year-old Karshonda Hatter into Orville T. Bright Public School Tuesday morning for a meeting with officials. A sea of supporters gathered around her, chanting. The Chicago mom is the focus of this video seen millions of times on social media. She and her children were attacked by multiple other children Monday afternoon as they were walking home. WGN is not showing the full video as it may be too disturbing to watch. But here's what we will show you. You can see Hatter and her children walking as a group of elementary students followed and yelled at them. Next, you see the kids crowd around Hatter and her children, and that's when two of them started to punch them. Hatter was eventually thrown to the ground and jumped, as was her son.
They were literally waiting the way we walk home just to jump all of us.
So now we waiting.
Just to jump all of us. So I asked my kids to come to the next side of the street with me, so they wouldn't get jumped. So we kept walking. They followed us all the way there, and then they still fought us. They fought my son. They hit my son first, all in his face. Then they dragged me in the grass and pulled my little baby hair.
Hatter and her 9-year-old son were taken to Trinity Hospital in serious condition after the attack. According to her, this isn't the first time her child has been bullied, and she's hoping this will be the last.
I'm trying to get justice for my son.
Absolutely.
And you deserve it.
And she's not the only parent fighting for her child. Those who stood outside the school say students have been terrorizing the community.
It's been an ongoing thing in this community, and the parents don't take accountability for nothing their kids do. If my kids was out here being messy, I'm gonna come out here and I'm gonna let it be known.
And again, back out here live, dozens of parents and community members showing up as early as 7 a.m. when we got out here. Hatter and her family are still in that meeting as we speak, talking to administrators regarding the incident. We do know CPS is investigating this, and we're trying to get more information on what's next. Now, coming up at noon, you will hear from a state senator who also was in that meeting.
Yeah, so you got the gist of it. Now the school wants to have a meeting. Now the school, in response to the media attention that this has gotten, now the school has decided to respond. Now they've decided to get involved. Now they've decided to expense some type of justice. I would want to see every single one of these kids expelled forever from the school. Forever. You don't care about what your kids is doing in or after school, find another one for them to attend then. Find another one for them to attend then. Let's make your life uncomfortable. Since you don't care. Since you don't care about what your kid is doing, let's make your life uncomfortable. Let's have you take some time off from work. Or if you got a job, half of them probably don't. Half of them probably living off the government. These are the type of kids that are raised by parents who just don't give a fuck. So I would not hesitate to not give a fuck and lay out, it would be equal lefts and rights for every single kid out there. And I would be hitting to not to take heads off. There is nothing that I would not do to protect my child. Now, that being said, just looking at this mother, I can tell that she's a little off. And I'm not saying this to be funny. I'm just saying this because I really, really hate bullies, yo. I hate bullies. It's uncomfortable to watch. It's uncomfortable to see. I told the story here before in another video, but I remember pulling up to one of my kids' schools, right? I pulled up and I used to get there early. This is when my son, this was probably this was the last year that my son has spent in a inner city school, in a public school. This was the last year. The last year that my middle boy spent in public school, I used to pull up every day early, and I would sit outside the school and I would wait for him to come out the door. I would sit in a position to where I had direct line of sight from my vehicle and my window to the school doors. That way I could see him coming out. Now, I did this every single time that I went to pick him up. And one particular day, I noticed that there's a crowd gathering as the children rush out of the doors. School is letting out. There's a crowd gathering, and they all gather around these two individuals. Now, y'all know what a fight looks like. Y'all know what it looks like on the school playground when there's a fight going down. But as I was watching, I noticed 2 or 3 other children getting involved. And they were taking the side of one particular kid to jump the other kid. I immediately got out of my car because I can't watch this go on. I told you, I hate bullies. I get out of my vehicle. I go over there. And I stand between them and the student that they were intending to jump. And I say, if y'all want to get to him, it's very easy. You just got to go through me. Now, mind you, I am not a small man. I am 6'4" and every bit of 280 to 300 pounds. Not small at all. Do you think any kid took that challenge? They didn't. And then afterwards, one of the teachers came out, and then the principal came out, and they talked to me, and they asked me about what happened, and they wanted to know which kids. They wanted me to point out which kids were involved, and then I pointed them to which kids were involved. I said 2 of them ran up there on that bus right there. They're trying to hide from y'all, and then the other one is trying to walk that way like he wasn't involved. I pointed them exactly to which students it was. I fucking hate bullies. It's cowardice, and I hate it. But the bigger reason that I did that is because I would want somebody to do that for my kid. I would want somebody to stand in the line of fire if it were my kid that was on the receiving end of being jumped. Now, I don't know what happened prior to that altercation, and I don't care. I didn't care. It didn't matter at that point. All I know is I know an unfair fight when I see one. I don't think kids need to be fighting at school anyway, period. It's a savage and outdated principle that our kids need to go to school and have fights on the playground. For what? This is supposed to be a learning institution. Are you fucking insane? We're not raising little cave dwellers that have to go out and attack people to live and to feed themselves. I thought we were raising young, responsible adults here. So the idea that it's okay for them to just have a brawl at school, that shit is outdated to me. And if you attack my kid, I'm letting you know now. What happens next is not going to be good, but it will make prime time. But anyway, I saw this and I was absolutely bewildered. Do you know how unchecked you have to be as a kid? Do you know how loose? You know how much free reign? Do you know how much you have to you have to have experienced as a kid growing up in a household to have no fear of another adult at all? No fear of consequences? Do you know what a household like that looks like? It looks like hell. It gotta be. Which is why I say indict the parents too. Get their asses down there too. Put their asses front and center on the news too. The kids are minors. I don't give a goddamn. Put every single one of their faces on. And their parents. And let them try to scramble and find another school in the community to go to. But I would flash their faces everywhere. I want them to be outcasts like black sheep, like a leper. I want them to be outcasts from the community. That's what we have to start doing. And shout out to this community who showed up the very next day and said, nah, we're not letting this fly. We need justice and we need answers. Shout out to that community. Kudos to them. I'm glad that they showed up in mass and they showed up in force. That's how you do it. That's how you do it. That's how you get answers. That's how you force some type of action to take place. This is how you do it. Now, I have some other thoughts about this as far as the mother goes of these kids and the fathers who impregnated her, but I don't think that right now is the right time to share them. So I will reserve those comments for another time. Y'all let me know what y'all think about this. Have you ever dealt with a bully before? Have you ever handled a bully before? I have. I'll be very interested to see what the outcome of this is. Hopefully, each and every one of these kids are expelled and never allowed to come back onto the school property ever again. And hopefully, the community gets wind of it and they also follow suit and don't allow them to come there either. You don't want to train your kids up in the way that they should be to be civilized young people and young adults, cool. Then go ahead and homeschool they little raggedy asses. Keep them at home, and that way you can raise them and you can deal with the hell that you have raised. Anyway, drop a comment down below. I'll holler at y'all later.